just begin to pay attention to the signs. Like,
I got my energy back, yeah. I'm on that frequency, mentally, spiritually, elevating, yeah, to my core.
what's good, my frequency family? I'm LA the Elevated. Welcome back to my channel. This is my platform where I'm giving you guys the formula on how to stop being the editor and become the author of your life story. So today I don't have any notes. I just want to talk to you guys about synchronicities. I said that I was going to make a video about synchronicities, and I'm going to use a couple of stories that's been trending on the internet. Well, I know at least one of them has. One of them is pretty old, but I'm going to use these stories to try to tie synchronicities together with how it's applied in real life. So first, synchronicity, spelled SYNCHRONICITY, is nothing but it's signs. It's like a series of signs and events that happen that seem to be like coincidences, but really it's like God and the universe kind of nudging you, giving you guidance on like what your next step to be. Especially if you've like been praying on something and then you get this sign. So a couple of signs that you get when it's like when it's a synchronicity that's happening in your life. It's like you can have a dream. You could be really thinking about something and praying on something, and then you have this dream and it kind of reveals something to you that you needed to know. You know, it can come to you in a dream. It can come to you in like numbers. If you keep seeing like the same number patterns over and over and over. If you study numerology, then you would look further into that and kind of figure out, okay, what that means. But otherwise, you don't really have to study numerology. You can just keep seeing these numbers and they can mean something to you. Like for me, I keep catching 7:12 on the clock. I look at the clock in the morning and it's 7:12. I look at the clock in the evening and it's 7:12. And 7:12 is my birthday. And I've been praying and manifesting, like I told you guys, on a lot of different things in my life. And so when I keep seeing this 7:12, you got to make it make sense to you. And to me, when I'm praying and I'm saying, God, give me the sign, like, is this the right time? Is this the right move? Like, what should I do? Can I do this? When I keep seeing 7:12, my birthday, for me, that's God giving me confirmation saying, yes, LA, do it. Bet on you. It's you. You're the brand. You bring the value. You know, you're the jewel, you're the one, you can do this. So that's what that means to me. Now, if I look that up in numerology and find out what 712 means, I don't know, it could mean something else. But it's like just taking that and interpreting it and figuring out what that means for you. If there's anybody watching this and you actually practice numerology or follow numbers and interpret them, drop it in the chat and let me know what 712 means. Like, what are the multiple different meanings that could mean? But for me, as I'm praying and I'm asking God for confirmation on what I should do, when I keep catching my number, my birthday on the clock or something, I'm taking that as a sign from God who's saying, yes, LA, it's you. Yes, bet on you. You got this. You know, it could come, a synchronicity could come in a way where you ever like been thinking about a person who you haven't spoken to in a long time, and then all of a sudden out of the blue they call you. That's a synchronicity. You know, it could come in the way of, what I say? So I said dreams, numbers. It can come in like a song. Like you could hear a song and the lyrics to that song will really resonate with you. It'll be like exactly what you needed to hear to make you feel better or to give you guidance in some type of way. It can come in the form of a song. Have you ever gone to church and felt like the sermon, the message was meant exactly for you? Like the pastor was speaking directly to you with that message? Like that could be a synchronicity. So it's basically just this series of events that happen that is kind of God and the universe's way of sending you a message, because God don't have FaceTime. So he's not just gonna FaceTime you and be like, hey man, this is what you should do, homegirl. Like, no, it's gonna come in a form of a sign, and we just need to be conscious of what's going on around us. We need to pray for discernment so that when things are happening, we can catch it and not just let it fly over our head and miss it. Because have you guys ever read that book in school where, and my allergies are still acting up, I know my eyes look crazy, but hey, I'm still getting my videos out, so whatever. Do you guys remember that book in school where everybody in the class would start off reading this book, and then you get to a certain part of the book where it says, okay, now you got to choose the next course of action. So if you choose this course of action, jump to page 20, and if you choose this course of action, jump to page 30. And depending on which course of action you chose, you jump to that page and the story is going to go a totally different way. It's going to take you on a different path. That's really what happens in life. It's like we're all living this game called life, right? We're all caught up in this simulation, and God is constantly nudging you like, okay, which way do you want to go? Like, you choose, you know? And if you decide not to listen to your intuition, not to listen to your gut feelings and say, I'm going to go this way instead, that's the path you chose, and jump ahead 20 pages, your path going to go a whole different way. If you choose to listen to the signs and pray about it and wait on God to reveal to you, and then you follow his guidance, your life is going to turn out a whole different way. So the two examples that I want to talk about is Amber H and Lucas Coly. I'll just say Amber and Lucas. They're all over the internet right now because I didn't know much about them. You know, I didn't know much about them. They were both like late 20s currently, right? So it's not somebody that I was, you know, Lucas was a rapper, very, very popular rapper. I looked up some of his songs and they had like millions and millions of views. So very popular guy, very handsome guy, you know, and he was a rapper dating this girl named Amber. They dated for about 9 years. Well, you can imagine throughout those 9 years, there was ups, there was downs, there was breakups, there was makeups, and all of this stuff. Well, finally, and I'm going to put some video up on the screen. I'll pause for a minute and I'll let some video play if I can figure out how to insert it. If I can't figure out how to insert the video, I'm just going to link it in the description box and you guys can watch it on your own time. But it got to a point where these two beautiful young man and woman, this couple, began to deteriorate. They just started to look really tired, burned out, you know, living their life out online. It just became toxic. It really did look toxic, right? And Amber had had enough, and she was like, you know what, this isn't for me anymore. So you think about synchronicities. There came a point where, I'm sure there's plenty of times where she'd broken up with this man and came back. But there came a point where she was like, I gotta go. In order to save my own life, I gotta leave this man and I have to go. So she reached her breaking point, and she said that she ran out of the house with no shoes on and just fled. Like, his mental health was deteriorating. He was making these threats about himself and her. And she didn't want to stick around to see if he was going to actually deliver on his threats. So she left. She said she ran out of the house with no shoes on, with nothing but her cell phone. And somehow she hopped a flight and like went to Los Angeles or somewhere, right? She said 2 days later, for the next 2 days, this man is like trying to reach her, like, where you at, and this, that, and the third, and I'm going to do this and that when I catch you. And 2 days later, she said he self-exited while they were on the phone together. Right? And so she's saying, like, she listened to the synchronicities, the signs that were being sent to her. And this time she didn't just wait around and say, no, I'm gonna stay with him anyway, this is my boo, this is my babe, we're gonna work it out. She said she had this gut feeling and she listened to it, and had she not listened to it, it could have been 2 funerals instead of 1. So I'm gonna pause here and play some of the video.
Are you slow? I did. I already know y'all screen recording me. I don't care. But I did everything I could. That's all I can say. I did everything I could. He could not take the breakup, and that's just what it is. I couldn't do it anymore. I could not. I could not. I'm about to be 30. I'm about to be 30. 30. And if you don't want the help by now, if you ain't got the help by now, you don't want the help. So don't fault me for choosing myself. Because would you rather be saying R.I.P. to Lucas and Amber? I ran out of my house bare fucking foot on Monday. But y'all don't know that. And y'all don't fucking know that. Bare fucking feet. I've never had to run away from somebody. Bare fucking feet. Have you?
Okay, so you guys can see that they had some really good times together. Like, they had good times, they had bad times. It was just a normal relationship. But she started to feel uncertain about which way this was gonna go. God started nudging her to say, this isn't it. You know, this isn't it for you. She's what, like 29 years old right now? So God chose to save her life. For whatever reason, she decided to listen. And it's because she listened that she is alive today. Because y'all know this easily could have went the wrong way. This easily could have been another, you know, snap story where she broke up with him. He couldn't take the breakup and boom, there you go. So this easily could have been one of those situations, right? But this is what happens when you listen. Now let's talk about some people who have not listened to any of the signs. There was this story that I stumbled upon. Shout out to the T and Neek at Night. I think those two channels are the ones that kind of brought all of this to my attention. It popped up in my timeline and I started following them. And they were following these stories that were kind of like trending. And I would just pop it on and watch it sometimes to kind of see, you know, what's being talked about, whatever. And there was this story about this guy named Nature Boy. This guy named Nature Boy was pretty much on the topic that I'm on, you know, manifestation, chakras, energy, all of that good stuff. But he took it so far to like getting all these people to come and follow him, to like quit their jobs, leave their families, leave their kids, and come follow him. Like, sell all your possessions, bring me your money though, bring your check. If you had a military check, a disability check, like bring that, come follow me. They're living out in nature, living in tents, living off the land, you know, growing their own food, supposedly. That's how they promoted it, but they weren't really doing all that. Like, they weren't. But that's how he promoted it. Got all of these people to follow him, and you know, we're gonna be our higher selves. And right when these people got there, this man was abusing them. He was R-wording them. He was beating them, men and women. He told them who they could marry, who they could talk to, when they could sleep, when they could eat. It was a horrible situation. Horrible situation. People came and left the tribe. He even called it a cult himself. Like, insert video here.
Yeah, I'm a cult leader, nigga.
Like, he called it a cult himself. And they like, oh, we not a cult. It was a cult. He said it was a cult. Like, he said he was building a cult. You know, and they're trying to say that this guy is the Black Messiah. That, like, he's God. And all of us are blind that we don't see that he's God. And we're not following him. They're the chosen ones. They're the ones that are woke and awakened to this, that this man is God. Like, man, listen. I know a real God. I know a real God. And my God is not kicking me, punching me. Like, you didn't see God punching his disciples. This man is like beating up on men, even slapping them, demeaning them. He even said, like, you know, these are a bunch of weak men that's following me. I dare you, you know, to go find a whole bunch of weak men who will follow you aimlessly. Like, insert video here.
You can say I'm using weak niggas. Let's see you do it. Let's see you take 3 weak niggas off the block and get him trained up.
So he's not lifting them up, teaching them how to be good, upstanding citizens, teaching them how to be fathers and husbands and brothers and good sons. He's not doing that. He's breaking them down slowly, bit by bit. He's breaking them down. And for the women, it was even worse because he's sleeping with them all, spreading around diseases, hitting them as well. Did all of this stuff in living color, on camera, live. Everybody saw it. I'm gonna insert some videos here and see if we can watch it.
Smack that nigga. Fuckers, don't you ever disrespect me, nigga. Fuck is wrong with these niggas, man?
It has returned. That's right. It is time for the Black Messiah to rise again, and Lehio is gonna rise again. I don't give a damn how y'all think I talk and how I speak and what I say. Y'all gon' feel my heart. Y'all gon' feel these words, and y'all gon' feel Lehio come through me. Yeah. Facts.
Let her take it there. Let her take it there. No. All right. Come on.
No, all right.
Okay, well, leave him. Leave. Get the fuck out there. Leave. Get up here. I said stay right here. What I said?
Malia, chill out. Chill out, Malia.
All right, so those are just some snippets. Like, I'll put some links in the video in the description box that you guys can go back and watch this. Like, when I saw this, I like watched hours and hours and hours and hours of this stuff because I just wanted to see, like, what were they doing? What made them stay? Why were they so caught up in this, you know, to make them believe that this was good for them, right? I didn't see anything. And to these girls' point, they're saying that this man is the Black Messiah and all of us should be following him, and if we don't, we're doing this to our own people. We're caught up in the system. We're a slave to government and all this, that, and the third. Listen, I believe in all the chakras and the energy and the manifesting your life, but I still live within our democratic republic, within the United States of America. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to sell all my possessions and go follow this man with a feather in his head. Like, all of us supposed to follow him. If this is the Black Messiah, this is the second coming of Jesus himself walking the earth, we're all supposed to go follow him. All of us. All of us intelligent business women, college educated women, you know, Oprah, Madam Vice President Kamala Harris, like all of us is supposed to go follow this clown. Are you dumb? Like, that makes no sense. The only people that this man is appealing to are weak-minded people like you guys. And maybe you weren't weak when you went there, because a lot of people left the cult and they said, listen, I was looking for this natural earthing way of living. That's what attracted me to it. And I went there. It wasn't what I thought it was. Maybe, yeah, I stayed for some years, but I finally woke up and I left, right? They can admit that. But these four trusted, simple young women, beautiful young women, by the way, beautiful young women, right, could be doing so much with their lives, but instead they look like they all need a bologna sandwich. It looks like they're surviving on, you know, sharing one peanut butter and jelly sandwich a day. You know what I mean? Like, it looks like they're malnourished. They're trying to act like they're angry and they're sad and they're hurt and they're crying over this guy being locked up, but you ain't seen not one tear fall between the four of them. And what happened was, he ended up being convicted. One person was like the whistleblower who was like, okay, enough is enough. She came out. There was a whole trial. You can look up Nature Boy trial on YouTube. The whole trial is online. And he was convicted and he got life in prison. So these four women are going up to the jail. I guess he recently got stabbed or something in jail. They're going up to the jail, trying to see him, talking about they're his wives, all four of them, they're his wives. And, you know, they're trying to say he's coming home. Like, we're waiting it out. We're waiting it out because he's going to come home. He's God. He's going to get himself back. He's going to roll the stone away and crack the cages open and free himself. And he's coming home. And it's like, girl, it's not happening. He was judged by, you know, his peers and found guilty. That's it. It's over. Go home. Go home. And I'm telling you, like, Malia, I think Eferu, whatever I don't know all their names, but I know Malia was the queen, right? Malia was the queen for some time, right? And if y'all want to get out of that, I know that it takes, when you've been in a cult, sometimes you need to go through deprogramming to get back to reality. I will help pay for y'all to go through that because it can be really expensive. When you guys are ready, email me at latheelevated@gmail.com and I will help pay for it out of my own pocket just to see you guys get out of this state of mind and go home and get back to your lives. I believe some of them may have children. Girl, go to your child. You're not going to be able to get this time back that you're losing with your children while you sitting here waiting for this man to come home. And why do you want him to come home? You're telling everybody to not believe their lying eyes of what they saw him do online. They saw him beat you. They saw him starve you. They saw him slap you. They saw him brag about doing all these things to you. So why are you trying to convince people that he didn't do these things. And that's really that's a warning for women with young girls, daughters, and even sons. Talk to your sons and daughters. Talk to your sons and daughters. And if they do want to follow this life, I got the air on because I'm hot. I know that it makes a noise in the camera, but I'm hot today. My sinuses are acting up. I couldn't do it, so forgive me for the noise. But talk to your sons and daughters and let them know that if they want to follow this natural earthing way of living in life, okay, cool, let's talk about how to do that. But following a clown like that is not the way. And these girls are out here still trying to recruit people for this cult, so that either they're going to find another Messiah or they're just going to continue running it with him being in prison. I don't know, but you don't want your kids following people like that. And those are the only people that they're going to get. They might get some older people who are a little simple-minded and a little weaker in the mind, but it's really more appeasing to the younger crowd. So talk to your young kids. Talk to your young daughters, okay? And don't let them get caught up by these girls, because they are online recruiting, honey. And it sounds real convincing, but to somebody like me, you're not going to get my 45-year-old ass to go follow what you're talking about. It's just not going to happen. Not in a million years, you know. So when I wrap all this into synchronicities, I'm saying that these girls have had signs. They've had signs over and over and over telling them to leave. And this I saw from watching the hundreds of hours of video online. They had signs. There are times where they went to the airport, where they actually left the cult and went home. Something told them like, okay, this is enough. And they threw their hands up and they left and they went home and then ended up coming right back. And this is what happens when you don't pay attention to the signs. Your life gonna take this path, or it's going to take this path. But what do I say? We are the author. We are a co-creator in this thing called life. And the decisions that you make are going to determine the outcome of what happens in your life. You are not a victim. You can make decisions. You are an adult. And if you choose to stay with this man, if you choose to keep subjecting yourself to this type of abuse, your life is going to take a certain type of path. So synchronicities are constantly telling you to leave. Constantly, you know, your common sense kicks in, and you know, your parents and your friends are all kind of talking to you, and you're like, you know it's true. You know what they're saying is right, but you still choose to go the other way. Another person was, remember that girl, what is it, Reesa Tessa? It's Reesa or it's Tessa, something like that. The girl who broke the internet months ago when she did like a 100-part series on TikTok of like, who the F did I marry? And she talked about, what did she call that man? She called that man, put it in the chat. What did she call that man? She called him something. She called him something instead of using his real name, right? I can't think of it right now. But it was like this 100-part series on TikTok. She also posted it on YouTube, like, who the F did I marry? And she talked about how this man was a complete fraud, turned her whole life upside down. And the synchronicity that I saw watching her story was that when they went on their first date, what happened? If you watch that, you know what I'm talking about. On their first date, what happened? She on her way to the date, she get a flat tire. On the way to the date, she gets a flat tire. Now, I don't know if she prayed prior, you know, the night before or the day of. But if she prayed and said, oh, Lord, this could be my husband. Give me a sign and tell me if this is my husband. If she said anything like that and then got that flat tire, she should have turned around and went back home. Because that was God answering your question. You submitted an inquiry and he said, okay, here's your answer. Here's your response. You know, and she ignored that. Even if she didn't pray, and I'm wiping my eyes because they are so irritated, guys. Like, they are burning, itchy, watering. So I'm going to wrap this up. But even if she didn't pray and ask God about anything before going on that, the fact that that happened, that she got a flat tire, that would have gave me pause. That would have gave me pause. That would have given me pause and said, let me cancel and say, hey, I got a flat tire and, you know, we'll reschedule. I would have went home, got on my knees and prayed and said, God, was that a sign? He'll answer you. Like, God will answer you. He'll send you some signs and answer you, right? Just ask. Ask and you shall receive. He will reveal it unto you, baby. But she should have went home. And because she didn't, that man sent her through the ringers, turned her life upside down, lying, you know, just sending her through a whole bunch of stuff that she could have avoided, basically. So pay attention to synchronicities, events that are happening in your life that could be coincidental, but you have to have the power of discernment to know when it's just a coincidence and when it is a sign. Because any one of us could get a flat tire on our way somewhere. Obviously, if you're getting a flat tire, you're headed somewhere, you know, and you get a flat tire. So if you're headed to work and you get a flat tire, that's not a sign that maybe I should quit my job. No. But if it's something that you're kind of like, you're also going to have, like I said, them gut feelings, that intuition, that shaky feeling, that nervous feeling, that unsure, that uncertainty. When you're having that, that is the power of the universe, like speaking to the natural antennas inside of you that connect with danger, right? You have these natural receptors that are picking up danger, they're picking up warnings, and then your body, you know, starts to react in a way when it's picking up danger, when it's picking up warning signs. Don't ignore those. Don't ignore those. That is your natural body reacting to fear, or not fear, but to danger that's approaching. Like that's like a caution sign that's being thrown up. Acknowledge that, right? And there's a difference between nerves, just being nervous because you're excited, and actual danger. Like warning, there's a difference. But you got to pray, you got to meditate, you got to learn to understand yourself so you know when your body is trying to tell you something. Listen to your body, listen to your intuition, and then you'll know what your body is trying to tell you. You'll start to know what God is trying to tell you. You'll know what the universe is trying to tell you. And then you can say, this is the path that I'm going to take. Okay, jump ahead to page 20 and my life is going to go this way on this path. And you'll be good. But the more we keep making these bad decisions, missing these warning signs, your life gonna keep taking these crazy turns. And it is so hard. Look at these girls that's still standing here after this man that got convicted like months and months and months ago. It could even be a year or so by now that he's been in jail, and y'all still standing here, yeah, he coming home. Y'all still standing here wasting your time, wasting all y'all's time trying to convince someone that this man is innocent when he committed the crime on camera. You know what I'm saying? And they're so messed up in the head that they're still standing around trying to convince themselves of that because they saw it, they lived it, they know it happened. So they're trying to convince themselves and to convince all of us that he didn't have it. Why? So he can come home and continue abusing you, so he can pick up right where he left off, right? I guess. So understand synchronicities and listen to the signs. I'll put the links in the description. Google Amber and Lucas, Google Nature Boy, and you will see people who heeded the warning and then people who didn't. And you'll see all the warnings that kept popping up. When you just sit back as an outsider and you watch their story, it's real easy for us to judge and say, oh, that's a warning sign, that's a red flag. You know, it's real easy for us to sit here and watch it as an outsider. When you're living in it in real time, you have blinders on and it's a little more difficult for you to see. So here with my frequency family, I want you guys to start to understand what synchronicities are. Read about it, Google it, look it up, watch videos on it. They are so real. We have this partnership, we have this connection, okay? We are the species that has the ability to connect, receive this information from God, from the universe, interpret it, and then determine our own course of action. That is the beauty of being a human being on this earth. We have that ability to do that, and it will determine the outcome of our lives. It will determine the path that your life takes, and you can save yourself a whole bunch of heartache and pain by just listening, praying on it, waiting on it, and paying attention to the signs. We've all ignored some signs before, but at this day and age, and again at this stage in my life, I'm not trying to y'all hear? I'm coming, Bella. Stop. I gotta go feed Bella. She don't need food. Actually, I put food in her bowl when I got home. She just wants my attention. If I'm on the phone, if I'm recording, she is like, no, it's my time. And I have been gone all day. I've been at work. So I'm gonna wrap this video up, but I wanted to talk about synchronicities. I said that I would like introduce that to you guys in a very simple way and just begin to pay attention to the signs. Like, pray on things when you need an answer, and then watch for little signs. Don't let it just fly over your head. Watch for songs, watch for number patterns, watch for a phone call that comes out of nowhere, watch for an opportunity that you all of a sudden get that came from out of nowhere, or watch for doors that start to be shut and things that start to be blocked. Those are signs from God. Those are signs from the universe that is trying to steer you in a certain direction. And it's all on us. We can listen to it, or we can ignore it and just say, gamble with it and roll the dice and see how it comes out. But I am standing on, you know, principle. I'm standing on facts. I'm standing on things that I've determined to be factual, true, and safe and good for me. So I implore you all to do the same for your life and avoid some of these pitfalls that it takes so long for us to crawl up out of this stuff. Like, we don't have time for that. We're trying to manifest. We're trying to get, you know, become our $1 million selves. We're trying to, you know, get that dream house, that job, that husband, that life that just breeds happiness, that life that you can live and just not have to go through all of that. Like, I went through so much stuff in my younger years. I don't want to go through anything else, you know, as an adult, anything unnecessarily, right? Anything petty. Like, I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. So pay attention to the signs. I'm gonna link some videos in the description box, so if you guys want to go back and watch some of this stuff, it's hours and hours and hours of footage online about all the stories that I mentioned. But yeah, it's really unfortunate to see, you know, God rest the dead for Lucas. So sorry that he self-exited, but God, thank you for saving, you know, this young, beautiful girl, Amber, who listened to the signs, who took heed, who took it seriously. And by her running, she saved her life. She absolutely saved her life. And then for Malia and all these girls that are still over there in this cult, thinking that this man gonna somehow be exonerated and be let go out of jail. And I think he down here in Georgia somewhere. He like in Macon or somewhere. So he's here in Georgia. They're sitting around waiting for him to be set free. It's not happening, girls. Go home, okay? Email me, latheelevated@gmail.com, and I will help you guys get the help that you need. I am extending myself because that's how serious I am. I hate to see this happening. Those are beautiful young girls, and they are just so delusional. So girls, if you want to still follow this path of, you know, your chakras, your energy, and living off the earth, you could do that. But that's not it. You are free. God removed him from your life because you didn't have the common sense to do it yourself. And he didn't want him, God didn't want this man to hurt you anymore or anyone else. So he handled it for you. So I'm gonna go get Bella because she is cutting up right now. So thank you guys for watching my channel. If you made it this far, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and come back. I would love to see you here more often. Thank you so much. Pay attention to the signs, baby, because that does it for me. So do it for you.